Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Close Quarter, and today we're going to be talking about talents in claims. And I'm joined by Nidhi Verma. Nidhi is Chief People and ESG Officer at Crawford, so welcome to Close Quarter.
Thank you, David. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. And we're talking kind of in the peak hurricane season, and in fact we've just had a landfalling hurricane in Florida. And I think historically, when there have been multiple events, especially in the hurricane season, that's exposed perhaps some of the pressures around talent and availability of talent in the claims sector. So to what extent would you say the talent shortage in the claims sector amplifies the need for greater investment in comprehensive training programs?
Thank you, David. Honestly, the world of work is brewing through a perfect storm, and that's causing a lot of talent scarcity and skills shortage. We have a very tight talent market across all industries, not just claims. Our claims industry is going through an aging workforce, which is causing a surge in retirement over the next couple of years. And there is digitization and automation, which is growing exponentially. All of this together has caused skill deficit and a skill shortage, and created a sense of urgency for organizations where they need to increase investment in training. I believe that organizations, before starting to invest in their training infrastructure, have to foster a learning culture. At Crawford, we have had a relentless focus on training right from our founding days. We have training ingrained in our values. Expertise is one of our strategic pillars, and we've continued to reinforce training throughout our journey. In fact, just in the last couple of years, we have infused a growth mindset within the organization, and growth mindset is a mindset to have continuous learning, improvement, and innovation. In fact, interestingly, we had all of our managers across the globe read Carol Dweck's best-selling book on the topic. The book is called Mindset: The New Psychology of Success, and we had managers go through some of the training courses that we created around this to headline the message, so that it's really ingrained in their mindset. And we also had every employee self-identify through our employee pulse survey, which we do twice a year. We asked them whether they had a growth mindset or not, and employees, interestingly, 97% of those who responded indicated that they actually have a growth mindset. So once we create this learning organization, a hunger for learning, we can really increase the investment in training to feed that appetite and help address the talent shortage that we are seeing in the industry.
Very good. And you mentioned sort of the industry context there. I mean, do you think the marketplace in general has suffered because of a lack of investment in this area?
I think the marketplace has certainly suffered because we have been more fragmented and scattershot in our investment in this area. The fallout of underinvestment in this area is inadequate supply of ready now and future ready talent, which both the quantity and quality of talent. And I think this shortage can really be addressed both at an industry level and organizational level. At the industry level, we really have to come together as an industry. All the organizations have to come together and create a coalition of the willing, so to speak, where we can learn from each other, we can lean on each other, and we can create digital communities, collaboration communities through open source learning platforms, through metaverse, where any learner can access any content, anytime, anywhere, because collective will raise a scale in my mind. At the company level, I think every company has to define their learning value proposition. What does learning really stand for? What does the function stand for? What outcomes does it intend to drive? At Crawford, we have articulated that our learning proposition is to have a fit-for-purpose organization in the future, and to amplify client excellence, where we have training, technical and human skills training to deliver on our client agenda, for continuing education for our adjusters and for licensed professionals, for career development, so that we have training where individuals keep moving forward within the organization. and for compliance training, certain regulatory requirements that our employees have to meet through training. So once we define and demonstrate the value of training, I think the investment is going to follow.
You touched on technology that you've been implementing as a company in some of those processes, but more generally, I think in the claims ecosystem, we're seeing a greater use of technology, and with that comes challenges of training and ensuring that your employees are well versed in using those technologies. So how do you sort of how does that sort of change your approach to designing programs?
You're exactly right. Technology has been extremely dynamic and disruptive across all industries and also in the claims world. And we have really evolved and matured our training delivery and our training design over the years. The two components or the two areas that we have really focused on are making it more personalized and making it more contextualized. And I'm going to touch on both of these a little bit. From a personalized perspective, we are more learner-centric and offer a variety of formats to our learners for their preference. So we have a virtual learning, digital learning, physical learning, phygital learning, which is a new word that I've learned, which is a combination of physical and digital, self-paced learning, peer-to-peer learning, project-based learning. And so it's the whole gamut which allows learners to select whatever they want based on their preference. From a content perspective, we've also enhanced and embedded technology in this. For example, virtual reality is one of the virtual reality simulations is one of the formats that we have used for our residential property class, where we have looked at VR scans, virtual reality scans that help us in identifying any peril, a water loss or a fire loss, and we embed this in the content so that learners can actually have a very safe, immersive experience and a real-world experience. And so that's kind of the personalized format that we've ordered. Also, we feel that bite size is the right size when it comes to content. And we have content which is more digestible, short, and easy for learners to understand. Instead of having days-long workshops, now we have content that's much more compressed and easy for learners. So from a contextualized perspective, we want to make sure that the content that the learners are consuming is more relevant and practical and applicable. And we make sure that the content is integrated in their workflow. We also focus a lot on on-the-job training so that the content is more contextual. So those are some of the changes, both in terms of making it more personalized and contextualized, that we are seeing as we adapt to the changing technology.
So far we've talked a lot about what Crawford does internally, and it seems a pretty comprehensive approach to training your employees. But does that extend beyond Crawford to training for clients too? And if so, tell us a bit about how that works.
So Crawford has been a front runner in claims education for the longest time, and we have really shared our learning services and solutions with clients, with direct learners. We offer a number of classes where we welcome our clients and direct learners. They're residential and commercial property classes, basic and advanced casualty class, workers' compensation class that are regularly attended by our clients. One of the more popular offerings that we have is our e-learning online platform called KMC On Demand. And KMC actually has about 50 plus courses, technical courses on property, casualty, workers' compensation. And it's also, some of these courses, in fact, majority of these courses are approved for continuing education credits by states. So the adjusters have to maintain their license and comply with multiple state requirements. We have about 300 plus hours of continuing education that we provide through our courses. We also have a feature, a functionality on KMC, which is called Compliance Genie, which is a CE database. It's a continuing education database which can help adjusters in tracking and reporting their CE credits, and it can also alert them and notify them on their compliance requirements and status. So really a really interesting feature for them and a useful feature for them. KMC On Demand offers these courses that learners can actually get charter membership for. They can, through the charter membership, they can access the full suite of courses, or they can access single course. I would highly encourage people to go through kmcondemand.com to look at the library of courses that we offer.
Great, thank you, Nidhi. So just to wrap it up and put all this into a bit of context, and you know, ultimately the aim of any kind of training and development of your employees is to foster the right environment for the business as a whole to be, you know, performing at its best. So you know, how integral would you say that training is to that, and to ensuring that you are creating that environment to, you know, maximize performance?
Training is an essential ingredient in maximizing performance and getting high performance, because high performance is all about achieving and exceeding our targets and goals and expectations. And when performance slips, there is a problem. And typically, to bring performance back on track, the problem has to be turned into a possibility. And I think training through skill building, reskilling, upskilling offers that possibility. So whether it's table stakes training through technical training or human skills training, building our brain trust or muscle memory, it's the training that is a true engine for driving and maximizing performance.
Brilliant. Well, Nidhi, thank you so much for your time today, and it's been pretty enlightening and comprehensive, and thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.